Hey guys, welcome to this little bitty snippet that I want to give you, because if you're in boundaries.me, as you are, and some of you are looking at it, I talk so much about all the different aspects to boundaries, and we go deep in it, as you've seen, and steps and all this. But I was thinking the other day, with all of that, sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. Meaning, I'm going to draw a picture of this so when you're reading and working through all this, you can remember what it is we're actually trying to do when we talk about boundaries and all the other lessons on boundaries.me. Here's the deal. Remember how I defined a boundary? Because we get confused. What's a boundary? You think about setting limits, or you think about doing an intervention, or you think there's a million different things, having a conversation differently. But basically, that's not the definition of a boundary. A boundary is, what did I say early on? It is a property line, all right? So if you own a piece of property, or you have a house, or you have an apartment, or whatever, there's this property line, okay? And you go to the county records office and you have a deed to that property line that says your property is right here and your neighbor's property is right here. Property lines define it. Now, there's another one probably over here and whatever. Now, the thing is, you live in a neighborhood, right? There's people around. So that's why we have to define the lines, because what did we say about property? It also, this deed gives you control. You get to define what happens on my property, okay? Your neighbor can't say, oh, I think you ought to paint your house purple, because not only do you have control, you also have freedom to do what you want to on your property, as long as you don't trespass. As long as you're not blowing up stuff or something that, breaks their windows or whatever it is. But here's what happens in relationships, right? Relationships, we live in community, we live connected to each other. And what happens is, on your property, and what's all the stuff on your property? Your feelings, your choices, your behaviors, your treasures, all of that stuff, that belongs to you, all right? And that works well, one more piece up here, as long as everybody is responsible for their own property. So if your neighbor is a good neighbor and they're responsible, they're taking care of their trees, for example. But what if they're irresponsible? What if they're addicted? What if they don't care about how the neighbor feels about the noise or whatever it is? What if they just let their trees grow and this big limb comes over and it falls over and it crashes in your property? See, now we have something called, it's really interesting, in the world of faith, what the Bible calls, forgive us our what? Trespasses, as we forgive others. See, now something they're doing is trespassing. It's coming over into your property without permission, and you are experiencing the consequences of somebody else not taking responsibility for their behavior. Maybe they're a rageaholic and they're not saying, gosh, I have a problem with anger. I need to call the anger, garden person and fix my anger. No, what they're doing is they're just spewing this out, and you end up with pain on your property. So what boundaries are about is defining your property and making sure that the relationships are relationships where you're being responsible. You're not yelling at them. You're not having trash fall over the fence, but also holding them accountable to what's going on over here so it doesn't affect you. Now remember something else about boundaries. This is not a wall. These are permeable, okay? So you have, how do I draw this? You have a gate, and you can close the gate or you can open the gate. Your neighbor walks over, you love your neighbor. They're so great, they're so nice. What do? You open up the boundary and you say, come on over. Let's have relationship, because they're bringing some good stuff like they made you a cherry pie, or they want to give you some love or help or just hanging out in a good way. Come on in, come on in. But then what happens if somebody wants to come in and last 46 times you were with them, they were hurtful? You go, no, I'm going to close the door. I can't do that. Sorry, last time didn't work out well. Last 46 times didn't work out well. And the boundary is taking care of your own heart, mind, and soul. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about changing anybody Because remember, you don't have control of them. You can't make them work out their issues. What you can do is say, I just want you to keep, if you're going to continue to use heroin, then you can go somewhere else. But if you're going to treatment and get sober, I would love for you to come in because I want to help you with that. But they have to take responsibility. So a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? This is you. Own your own life and develop your yard. Come on. Your talents, your gifts, your dreams, your abilities. What do you want to do? How do you want to feel? It's depressing today. I want to get some help with kind of some mood lighting in here, right? And I want to get better. I want to get healthy. That's your life. That's your yard. And you are 100% entitled to taking care of your own heart, mind, and soul and thriving. What we want to do that is we want to do it with good neighbors. I don't want you living in outer space where you don't have any neighbors. We want community. But in community, don't ever lose control of your own property. See you next time.